As we're leading out, in order to keep your weight back, and this is something that you'll do on the balance beam, and when you get on the mount, it's very important. So as you start to lead down, as the hands separate, it's a feeling of pulling back with the upper body. You lead out with the front hip, not with the shoulder. The hip goes down and out first before the shoulder moves at all. So you are leaning back slightly, keeping the head behind the belly button. All right, your belt buckle, your belly button, your nose is back here. So as you lead out, all right, so that when you land in the high cock position, your nose is still in the center of your body. That will allow you to properly open the hips and generate the power with that explosion of the trunk and the hips.
Then you explode when you hit.
I wanted to use the inside of my feet, the inside of my knees, and this trunk area to stay inside, go, and then take off. And so therefore, that allowed all the transformation of my body to bear most of the whip and force and put less on my shoulder so that at throwing 94, 95, 95.
A lot of kids will what we call leak with their head. They'll start leaning their head back towards first base if they're right-handed. And they lose, if they do that, they lose direction. And my oldest son, Reed, when he was in high school and college, I had to work with him on keeping his head down because he wanted to leak. That was just was something that he had developed, and I don't know if it was a feel thing or what, but I really had him work on keeping his chin down, and that would keep his head more on line.
Well, I'm gonna steal that from Nolan. Bury your chin in your chest, and you can't leak with your head.
So this gets to, it's funny how the variables link together, right? Because this gets to what we call the balance variable. So Nolan in the app at release point, the moment the ball comes out of the hand, we're measuring the spine angle. And the fault that you're talking about is a kid would pull off towards first base here, and the arm would flare out as a result, all sorts of accuracy.
Yeah, once their head tilts, they lose their direction.
So tucking the chin from max leg lift through foot strike, it sounds like helps you, number one, stay closed, and then number two,
stay on line, yes.
Stay on line. Yeah. So that's a great one. Tuck the chin.
Well, I'm gonna use that. You're gonna see that somewhere next week, Nolan.
Well, it reminds me of one we heard from David Bednar, the Pirates closer this year. He talked about using his front shoulder as his sight line for the target as long as he could. Did you ever think about that?
Well, what I did, I used my elbow. So it's basically the same thing as what he's saying.
So tucking the chin at the same time you're using your front side as a sight line. There's something interesting there.
I hope the kids that are watching this are writing that down, because how simple is that? Tuck your chin, point your elbow.
Pointed directly straight towards the plate. Now, some pitchers like to extend the arm out. That's why I think the ball is a good idea in the glove. what you do is you hold the glove palm down, the fingers are going towards the hitter, the thumb is down. In the high cock position with the glove out towards the hitter, you'll notice that my elbow is still even. Now let's turn the beam so it faces the camera. All right? As we come down, my elbow, front elbow, is used as a sight. There's a straight line right along this beam from my front elbow, my front shoulder, my back elbow, and you can see my fingers on top of the ball, thumb underneath, pointed towards the shortstop. If I was to bring the arm out towards the hitter, all right, palm down, thumb down, holding the ball, still gripping firm enough to hold on to it, you'll notice that my elbow is still used as a sight. Again, that's why it's important, too, that we use the elbow as a sight. Our elbow is the sight between home plate, the front shoulder, the back elbow, and then the hand is on top of the ball facing the shortstop for right-handed pitches.
This is how to go. This is where you're going to the target. This is your eye level, all right? Yeah, bullseye. Yeah, bullseye. Right there. See that? Right there. Right there.
Going forward. Boom.
Got it.
Elbow. Eyes. And
If you want to get the glove out, put a ball in the glove, practice getting into the high cock position, putting a little bit of tension on that glove to hold the ball in it. But again, the elbow, shoulder, should be perfectly in line with the imaginary line between home plate and second base. All right, now from the front, you can see this is the number 2 position. All right, you can see that my shoulders, my elbows are parallel. I've got the hand on top of the ball. I'm using my elbow as a sight. Now, once again, you can have the glove out this way towards the hitter, or you can curl it in. I prefer to curl it in. And I've slightly opened up my left hip, but my shoulders are still on line. Now, one other thing you should notice is that my head is over my knee. A lot of pitchers you'll see lean back in this position, right? You see I'm closer towards the first baseman. You really should be right here, balanced, in a good position. The knee should be straight up, right? It shouldn't be in too much, and it shouldn't be open too much, causing the hip to open way open early.
Don't let anyone say that it's just a game. For I've seen other teams and it's never the same.